One of the best things about having a Minecraft survival world is that your job as the player is to bring the game to life. And as satisfying as it is to punch down your first tree, fight your first mobs, and take your first flight with a pair of elytra, I would argue that there's something even better about playing this game. And that is adding detail, life, and even story to bring your world to a whole new level of enjoyment and satisfaction. This group of player actions when put in a Minecraft survival world is what we call world building. I'd like to present to you 10 ideas to better your world building in Minecraft. If you find any of these world building tips to be valuable, consider leaving a like, as if this video hits 100 likes, I'll do a part 2. Now, without further ado, let's jump into world building idea number 1. My biggest idea and biggest piece of advice about world building is to disregard scale. It can be easy to get caught up in the bigger is better mentality, especially when you see bigger Minecraft content creators pumping out entire towns and cities in a video. Even the addition of the small things like a lamppost along a path, a flower pot on a build, even just an item frame can paint a bigger picture or add to the larger story. Don't feel like you need to make your first builds out of the most expensive or difficult to obtain blocks. For example, the cinematics that we're watching right now are from my Forever world, and you can see in the builds that they're all easy to obtain blocks such as stone, wood, and deep slate. Not only does this make my world building experience more enjoyable, now when I come back to this part of the world, I'll remember it as a point in time where I didn't have the wealth that I'm sure I'll have later. In my opinion, scaling your builds over time will allow for you to enjoy the journey, not the destination, which leads us to world building idea number 2. Now, I think that you'll know when an area of your world is complete to your standards. However, oftentimes when we return to our old builds, we see that they could use a little bit more work. In my opinion, one of the best ways that we can add more story elements to our world is by taking the time to come back and make those revisions. Small natural additions like a curated crop field, stone ruin, or a retaining wall can tell more story about how the world is or has been affected by the life that exists within it. Doing little things like heading back to your interiors to add bookshelves, item frames, candles, or paintings can make them 10 times more worth coming back to and revisiting. And so much life is added to your Minecraft world with the addition of a dock, storage area, or pond. The addition of a body of water in any given area will instantly bring your build area to life, which gets us into world building idea number 3. When it comes to terraforming and building a world in Minecraft, there's no better block to use than water. Water can be used indoors and outdoors, vertically and horizontally, above ground and below ground. Some of my favorite uses of water include ponds, rivers, waterfalls, and as a sink in the interiors of my builds. They also work great when used in fountains. However, I'll save my favorite use of water for later in the video, as it has a really underrated use in world building. Given water's versatility and its ability to add a shade of blue to your world in a game where a blue gradient can be hard to come by, means that it's worth utilizing and can add many tools to your world building toolkit. Imagine the world and the story that you can write being told by a desert turned into an oasis, a mountain turned into a river valley, a hole made into a pond. A water bucket is always in my hotbar, and I recommend always having one in yours too. I think that one of many things in Minecraft that is equally loved and hated is a massive storage area. In many ways, they can be essential to being organized in Minecraft's endgame. Yet, on the same token, once you start living out of one area, it can kill a lot of your lust and zeal for the world. However, when you spread out and dedicate multiple different areas in your world to holding specific items, it gives those different locations more meaning and purpose. Gives you the opportunity to incorporate story elements into why these particular items are where they are or how they got to be there. Then, when you revisit these areas, whether it be by air, land, or water, your world has that extra reason of purpose to return, which adds that extra feel to your world. By far, the easiest yet most underlooked aspect of world building in survival Minecraft is connecting your area with mediums of transport and paths. When you can feel the cohesion and integration of your world, it absolutely transforms it. Now, I love building paths in Minecraft. Not only do they give access to your builds, but they integrate with the land in a way that makes your world feel like yours. You can build paths with many different types of designs and styles. However, connecting your area with paths doesn't have to end there. You could take to the water and build a bridge, or an underwater tunnel. Why not head underground and make your mine shaft look better? You can build bridges above water, or maybe even a monorail, as I have here in my Forever World. You could add signs to decorate certain locations in the world, and even if those locations don't have names, little details like this can bring a new feeling of integration into the world. When it comes to adding all of the little details that make your Minecraft world special, Edub said it best that detail comes with time and patience. Sometimes it takes a second, fifth, 10th look at your creation before you know what to put on for the finishing touches. And when this applies to world building in Minecraft, we have to keep in mind that we're building a world here. Worlds include cities, towns, houses, all of the aspects of civilization, and we all know how long it can take to get even a simple house down and complete. So the detail will come with time and patience, and eventually you'll look back at your world and see the change that's come with time. But I do hope, as we get into my favorite world building tip of the video, that eventually you'll look down at the subscribe button and consider hitting it. I can't wait to give this world more character, which, speaking of, brings us to our 7th world building tip. Without life, your world isn't a world. It's just a place where you are. Name your builds and natural features that you make, your armor and tools. Make aquariums to put in fish. Make dedicated pens for your work animals. Yes, it might seem like a little bit more time consuming from time to time, but having a world that you've built and is full of life and character will make every second spent in it all worth the while. A world building idea that has been rocking my world recently has been the idea of documenting things in my world with the date attached next to it. Then, a couple weeks or months later, I can come back to it and realize how much progress I've made since that time. However, the same idea of documenting things also applies to making videos, taking screenshots, and sharing them with others. Logging your experience will provide another way of looking back at your world and see how the journey is coming together bit by bit. Not everything you need to do to build your Minecraft world is to include actual building in the game. Sometimes it's all about the story and playstyle that you choose to adopt when playing Minecraft. Oftentimes, the more abstract and creative you can be with your story, the more of a role you see yourself playing in the world that you're building. For example, here in my Forever World, we have the Kingdom of Odapan. It's a starter medieval mountain village. My role here is to establish it as a mining colony, as the mountain is full of mineral ore that many other kingdoms need. It was discovered by 3 friends of mine in the 1850s and is connected indirectly to all of my Minecraft friends in their worlds, although just in theory. This allows for me to take on a role and be a part of something that's greater than myself in the creation of this Forever World. It transforms the experience and only requires you to take some time to think, draw, or write about your Minecraft world. This leads me to my last piece of world building advice: to work on multiple builds, not just one, as we've discussed, building a whole world in Minecraft is no joke. For me personally, it's important to bounce around to different builds to keep things fresh, and I can rest assured in knowing that, just like in the real world, nothing is built in a strictly linear fashion. As long as I continue to make my world a place that I love experiencing when I'm in the game, I'll have the motivation to finish each incomplete project. However, if you made it to the end of the video and you haven't yet left a like, you have an incomplete project now, don't you? In all seriousness, I appreciate your support and would love to know which world building idea or tip you intend to bring into your Minecraft survival world.